Welcome to the SOMO Capital Auto Repair and Service Truck Series here at Kentucky. I'm sorry we're getting the stream up a little bit late. Looks like Jay Felton was your pole sitter here tonight. The race is just about to get started and pace car dives in. Tonight's race is 135 laps. We've got stages at 35 and 70. Green flag is about to come out. And we are already under green here. I'll have to do some of the intro stuff as we're racing. We're having some technical difficulties trying to get everything up and going. Facebook's streaming is not working tonight, and YouTube is giving me a hard time as well. But we're off and going here. Jay Felton out in front. He's got a bumper full of Seth Hatchell and Tyler Pluff working down on the inside, going down into turn 3 here. I talked with a couple of the drivers earlier, and it sounded like the trucks were pretty tight and only got tighter as the run went on. Seth Hatchell making a move to the outside already here. We're only on lap 2, and Hatchell wants to find his way to the front. He's already got 4 wins this year, and we'll actually go through the point series in just a moment. Maybe when we get to a caution. Hatchell gets the nose out front and back a little bit farther. It looks like we've got a battle between Brandon Stokes, Ron Hollifield, and Ryan Gemmel. Those guys are 3 wide right now. Gemmel backs out of it, and now the battle is still on between Stokes and Gemmel. So they make their way down to turn 1. Hatchell and Felton still side by side. Didn't look like Hatchell was able to lead that lap. Jay Felton able to keep the nose out in front at the line. Still side by side down into turn 3 and 4. Hatchell gets a little bit of an advantage up there on the high line. Maybe going to be able to lead this lap. Felton still fighting down on the bottom. And Seth Hatchell will beat him to the line that time to get that lap led. Tyler Pluff just sitting back there in 3rd, waiting for something to happen between these two. I think the high line is going to end up being the way to go. Mike Eames fighting right now with Jason McConnell for spots inside the top 5. Mike was one of the fastest in practice we saw earlier, and looks like he had a pretty good qualifying time, and still running up in the top 5. Right now 3 wide though. Again between Gemmel, Hollifield, and Stokes. Looks like Stokes really pinching up the track, and Hollifield backs out of it. Here comes Timothy Lewis. Make a move on Hollifield, and behind Hollifield it's Timothy Zayas making his return to the league side by side with Larry Holloway, but I think Timothy able to get the clear there, and now Holloway side by side with Adam Jones. So a lot of battling going on here. Seth Hatchell has been able to clear Jay Felton, and is now about 0.3 of a second up the road. And Seth was the points leader coming into this race, also has the most wins so far this season. He's been on a hot streak here in SOMO Racing League. He won last night in the Portside Jaguar and Land Rover Xfinity Series, and also last Thursday in the Cup Series, last Wednesday in the Truck Series. So he's got 3 wins here at SOMO in a row, going for 4 here tonight, and he is quickly making his way up the all-time wins list over here in this league. Everything seems to be pretty much single filed out. Don't see any battles really going on, so I'm just gonna pop up the weather here, take a look at what the track temps are tonight. 84 degrees Fahrenheit, 79 degree air temp. We've still got the race name up. Get that out of the way. So decently warm track temp, but not too hot. And these guys just struggling with the grip tonight. There's too much grip almost. It sounds like they're very tight. Looks like we've got a move by Brandon Stokes to get by Ryan Gemmel. Those two are still battling it out. And here comes Timothy Lewis peeking to the inside, but not going to be able to get the run in 3 and 4. And up at the front, Jay Felton has caught Seth Hatchell and is trying to make the move. But I don't think the inside line is going to be the place to be around here. I think Seth's going to have a lot of power up in that high line to hold Jay down. And Tyler Pluff still waiting for something to happen. And there's a couple drivers that we're not seeing here tonight that are in the top 10 in points. Lupe Gonzalez is not out here tonight, but we do see Shane Papala back again. He's missed a couple races this year, but currently running in 13th position. So we'll see what Shane can do. I'm sure he'll find his way up towards the front. And right now it looks like we've got... everybody's pretty evenly separated except for the top two. They're a little bit closer. Timothy Lewis has made his way up a few positions here at the start of this one. Timothy looking for a spot in the chase. I believe he's the first one out of the chase if things were to end right now. We'll actually bring up the point standings here and get a quick rundown of where everybody's running. We are 4 races left in the series here before the chase starts, you know, after this race. So it's closing in like very quickly. Seth Hatchell has a pretty good advantage out front. He's got those 4 wins, a few stage wins, so he's pretty well set to be your points leader when we enter the chase. Lupe Gonzalez is second. He's not here tonight, but he'll definitely make it in based on points. Jay Felton is third by points, but right now it's showing him as 8th in the chase standings, just because Brandon Stokes also has a win. And we've got 6 other winners other than Brandon. So Jay is currently the only one in on points. And he's about 85 points in front of Timothy Lewis, who is not shown on this screen. Shane Papala is 4th. Andrew Melvin is 5th. Tyler Pluff 6th. Timothy Lewis 7th. Ryan Gemmel 8th. Ron Hollifield 9th. And Mike Eames 10th. But right now, Timothy Lewis, Ron Hollifield, and Mike Eames are not going to be in the chase because of their points. They're just outside where they need to be, and I'm not sure about participation in this series, if there's a minimum participation to make the chase. But if there is, I don't think Brandon Stokes will actually make it, so there should be 2 spots left at the bottom right now, and Jay Felton has 1. Timothy Lewis would have the other. But we'll clarify that in these next few races and try and get everything settled and ready to go. Meanwhile, at the front, Jay Felton still putting Seth Hatchell under pressure. Peeking to the inside here in 3 and 4. It's going to be tough, I think, to make that pass on the low side. I think it's going to be tough to make any passes at all. Ron Hollifield, after racing 3 wide there for a while, shuffled back into 9th place, but solidly in that position. I thought I saw a battle back here. Andrew Melvin, surprisingly, pretty far back in the field. Not sure what his plan is if he actually started at the rear, but he's working on the back bumper of Adam Jones. Peeking to the inside, going down into turn 3. We had a pretty small field here tonight. Just 16 trucks take the green, and everybody's still running. Jeff Blockner is last on the lead lap. Right now 6 seconds back from the leaders, 16 seconds or 16 laps into the race. We'll Looks like we've got about a 6-truck breakaway and then a second or so back to Ryan Gemmel in 7th. And nobody really making any moves at the moment. And like I said, 35 laps in this stage. And actually, as soon as I said nobody's making moves, Jay Felton looks to the outside, but he's not going to have the run to get there. So it's the longer way around that front kink in the straightaway. And the inside line has an advantage in that scenario. So Jay slots back in line and going to try and reload for another attack here. I think Jay has pretty good speed. Not really had the opportunity to make a pass as Seth hasn't made any mistakes yet. And let's take a look around, see if anybody is battling. It looks like a few tenths in between each truck out here. Gemmel currently under fire from Timothy Lewis. That's for 7th and 8th place. But nobody making a move. Adam Jones and Andrew Melvin. Let's see, that's Adam Jones and Rick Christensen are battling it out right now for 14th and 15th. Rick working that low line all the way down by the yellow line and not able to get the momentum out of the turn. Adam is able to clear him completely. And we're about 15 laps to go in this stage. I don't think there's going to be any strategy. I think we should be able to make it with fuel. And now we've got a 3-truck breakaway. Tyler Pluff in 3rd. And a little ways back to Jason McConnell, who's in front of Brandon Stokes and Mike Eames. Those guys all have pretty good runs here tonight. And Ryan Gemmel about 9/10ths back from the bumper of Mike Eames, still under pressure from Timothy Lewis. Felton is still looking for a way around Hatchell, but not able to do it. Right on the bumper coming out of turn 4, really trying to show him that he's there. Gets to him, bumps him on the straightaway, but doesn't have the momentum to make that outside line work. Top 3 now being reeled in again by Jason McConnell, Brandon Stokes, and Mike Eames. And Gemmel still maintaining about 9/10ths back. I think a lot of these drivers running very similar times. The fastest on track this time by was Seth Hatchell. The lap before it was Jason McConnell, using some of that draft. Hatchell, with clean air, able to hold on to this lead, even though I think Felton maybe has a little bit more speed at this point in the race. He just can't find a way around him. 22 laps into it, and the race is just flying by. See if anybody's making a move. It looks like Stokes was peeking to the outside of the 54 and still trying to get up there, but not enough room. Oh, I think he made some room. It's not quite there. The 54 is probably going to slide up in front of him here and slam the door, and he does. 21 peeks down to the inside trying to pull a crossover, but not enough momentum to make it work. Has to tuck back in line, and I think that's going to be the scenario here tonight. As the track cools off, we may see a little bit more passing, but I think as this race goes on, it's pretty much going to be single file, except for restarts. Champapala has moved up into 12th place, Andrew Melvin up into 13th, so those guys have gained a couple spots each. Thought I saw Adam Jones maybe get into the wall back there. Quite tell. I think he does have some right front damage. Yeah, he does. So Jones struggling here early. Jeff Glockner still the last truck on the lead lap, only 8 seconds back from the leaders. So everybody pretty much in contention. Still, nobody's made any big mistakes, which is good to see. Jason McConnell now under fire from Brandon Stokes going through turn 4. We've got cloud cover on the track, which might help some of these drivers to gain some ground and make passes. Stokes doesn't have the momentum on that bottom side. I don't think he's going to be able to have the position going into turn 1, but he does. 54 able to clear him for the moment, but Brandon fighting back on the inside, not able to make it work. I think that's just going to be how it is. Oh, and we've got somebody in the wall back there. I think Gemmel either getting loose or bouncing off the wall. But that slowed up Timothy Lewis. And Ron Hollifield able to make a pass. Here comes Larry Holloway. Oh, but Timothy Lewis sideways. So maybe these drivers are struggling with loose condition. I didn't hear that from the drivers during practice, and I didn't see it on track, but 27 laps into this thing, we've got some drivers struggling with the back end of the truck. Let's take a look inside Jay Felton's truck and see what he's working with right now. He's got 0.2 of a second behind Seth, but I mean, he's right there. Trying to work a different line than Seth to get a good run out of the turn, and it looks like he's able to. Kind of diamonding the turn a bit. See what he's able to do down here in turns 3 and 4. He's just able to get to his bumper, but not anything more. It does kind of sound like the back end was trying to let loose. Meanwhile, these guys still kind of duking it out. Mike Eames looking to the inside of the 21. Going to back out of it here and try and get a better run out of the turn. Stokes getting loose on the exit of the turn there. And we are under caution. I'm not sure what happened. Adam Jones went around. Jeff Glockner potentially involved. I'm not sure, but we are under caution. And let's go take a look and see what happened to Adam Jones. All right, we're taking a look here. So Adam must have really faded. And I believe it's going to be the next lap around. But he dropped all the way back to Jeff, who was quite a ways back from the leaders at the time. It's going to be the next time by in turns 1 and 2. Jeff was looking to the inside right here, looking to make the pass as we go down into turn 1. Jeff got loose down there on the apron. And, going into 1 and 2, looks like Jeff drifted up the track just a little bit. Adam made contact. Jeff able to get by without any more contact, but Adam just trying to save the truck, and he does. And it brings out the caution. So a pretty minor incident all in all, and only 2 trucks with any kind of damage from that incident. So first caution of the night, and I think that's actually going to be the stage. We'll find out here in a minute.
No, we're going to go back.
And I just got word that it is not the end of the stage, so we will be back under green at least for 1 lap. And Hatchell makes it out of pit road first, Jay Felton second, Tyler Pluff third, Jason McConnell fourth, Mike Eames in fifth, Brandon Stokes sixth, Ron Hollifield seventh, Ryan Gemmel 8th, Larry Holloway 9th. Shane Papalo is going to round out the top 10, so Shane gaining a spot there on pit road. Timothy Zayas getting shuffled out of the top 10 into 11th. Andrew Melvin up into 12th. Ray Christensen 13th. Timothy Lewis 14th. And Adam Jones and Jeff Glockner just rolling off pit road after getting some damage fixed, I think. Glockner will be 15th. Adam will be 16th. And it looks like the lights are off on the pace car, so we will be going green here. Well, we've got a second though. I'd like to give a shout out to our sponsor, Capital Auto Repair and Service, your full service auto repair center in Raleigh, North Carolina. The best auto mechanics in the area, honest, skilled, and reasonable pricing. And I'm sure they can do whatever you need. So if you're in the area, Raleigh, North Carolina, give those guys a call and they will help you out. So big thanks to those guys for sponsoring the series here, and SOMO. Really appreciate them being on board. Seth Hatchell working his way through 3 and 4 behind that pace car. It's going to be the one to get him going here. And we will see what he is able to do on this start. Jay Felton was the one to get him going on the first start, and lost the lead pretty quickly. See if Jay's able to fight on the inside line. We're only going to have a couple laps to go. Hatchell holding them down. Jay gets a great start. Actually, I think beats Seth to the line. We'll see if there's any kind of penalty for that. But right now, Jay has the advantage. He's not going to be able to clear Seth, I don't think. He's going to try to, but there's not enough room. And it's a tight battle at the very front. Tyler Pluff right behind them, along with Jason McConnell. Pretty much nose to nose at this point in 3 and 4. Jay has to back out of it to avoid getting into Seth. And Jay's going to slide up in front of Jason McConnell to try and hold that spot. Here comes Tyler Pluff on the inside trying to make a move here late in the going. Hatchell has a 4 or 5 truck length lead out in front, so I think it's guaranteed he wins this unless he makes a big mistake. But we're 3 wide between Ron Hollifield, Mike Eames, and Brandon Stokes. Felton clears McConnell and Tyler Pluff. Pluff actually had to back out of it, and Stokes is now on his outside, so Pluff is going to get shuffled from 3rd all the way back to 5th place at the end of the stage. Seth Hatchell, though, is going to make his way across the line and win stage number 1. And caution is quickly back out. So let's take a look here in just a second and see where everybody ends up. Seth Hatchell wins the stage. Jay Felton 2nd. Jason McConnell 3rd, Brandon Stokes 4th, Tyler Pluff 5th, Mike Eames 6th, Shane Papala 7th, Ron Hollifield 8th, Larry Holloway 9th, and Andrew Melvin rounding out the top 10. And I'm surprised to see a few drivers outside of the top 10. I'm not sure what happened. Looks like Gemmel shuffled all the way back to 13th. Timothy Lewis shuffled back to 12th. Yeah, so big change there at the bottom half of the top 10. It's the field working their way back around to catch the pace car on the back straightaway. We'll see if anybody pulls any kind of a strategy here with 2 tires or just staying out. They've only got 2 green flag laps on the tires. Hatchell going to come to pit road along with Brandon Stokes, Tyler Pluff, and a few others. Shane Papala, Ron Hollifield, Larry Holloway. Basically everybody except for the top 3. Actually, top 4. The top 4 are going to stay out, led by Jay Felton, who's got Jason McConnell, Mike Eames, and Andrew Melvin. Looks like Rick Christensen also stayed out. And we're watching to see if anybody pulls any kind of strategy. Tyler Pluff took 2 tires. Shane Papala took 2 tires. Hatchell taking 4. Timothy Zayas taking 2. So a mixture of strategies here among these drivers. but Pluff and Papala taking 2 to hold on to some track position, and I think it might actually help their trucks. We'll have to wait and see. So just under 100 laps remaining. 4 lead changes so far. We've had 2 cautions, one towards the end of the stage and the stage caution right there. But the racing has been pretty good so far. A lot of side-by-side and 3 wide for those first few laps of a run, and it seems like the truck gets too tight after a certain point and everybody has to kind of single file back out. Lights are off on the pace car, so nice short cautions here tonight. And Felton elects to take the outside line, probably a good move, as he has not been able to make the bottom line work yet this race. So the first driver on 4 tires is going to be Seth Hatchell, but he's back in 8th place. And we will have 31 laps to go in the stage when we come to the green flag here. So we'll see if Seth is able to gain that ground back, or if he's going to struggle to make passes here. Pace car about ready to turn in. Jay Felton slowing him down here before the pace car does. Waiting for the green flag as they're rolling out of turn 4 just right now. Felton waiting for it. Green flag is out. Gets a decent start, but Jason McConnell getting a really good start on the inside, able to lead that lap. Oh no, Jay did lead the lap, but it looked like Jason had a nose out front. He does right now. We'll see if he's able to clear Jay out of turn 2. I think Jay's going to hold strong on the outside line and just have the nose in there barely. Meanwhile, we are 3 wide, a little farther back. I think we've gone back to 2 wide here. But Hatchell already moving up 2 spots. He's up into 6th, working that 3rd lane. 21 of Brandon Stokes almost making it 3 wide between himself and Shane Papala. But Hatchell working the outside line and trying to make up the ground that he lost through the pit cycle. Jay Felton still battling Jason McConnell. McConnell gets on the apron and has to back out of it. Pluff now making a big run on the outside line. Gonna try and get up next to Andrew Melvin. Melvin is side by side. Here comes Seth Hatchell to the inside of Pluff. And so the 2 tires don't seem to be working all that well for Pluff or Papala. But Pluff has gained some ground. Papala has not. He's stuck on the inside line right now. Hatchell kind of pinned, boxed in as Pluff is working to the outside of Andrew Melvin. I think Seth is just a little bit stuck right here, nowhere to go. And Tyler Pluff is trying to make a move on the 54 of Jason McConnell, just in front, trying to work the outside line and get a big run here on the front straightaway. And not able to get there just yet as 54 comes up and clears him. But behind them, Brandon Stokes and Andrew Melvin still side by side, and I think Stokes is on 4 tires as well. Yes, it was a 16.8 or a 14.8 second stop, so he took 4 tires. So he's going to be your first car on 4 tires. Tyler Pluff's the first driver on 2. And Shane Papala shuffled back to 7th place. And Timothy Zayas also taking 2, shuffled back to 12th place. So that hasn't worked out for him. Pluff still working the outside of the 54, not able to get there. 54 cuts him off. Pluff right on the back bumper. Trying to make a move to the inside, but decides against it. Probably going to try and make a move on the outside or give a little tap to the 54 here. Upset that truck. And Hatchell trying to swing to the outside, but nowhere to go. Ryan Gemmel trying to recover. after losing ground late in that stage. He's up into 9th place and clears Timothy Lewis, who's battling with Rick Christensen, one of the drivers to stay out during that pit cycle. He's really dropped all the way back to 11th place now, in jeopardy of losing a spot to Timothy Zayas, who's on the outside. I think he will here. Mike Eames still battling with Ryan Gemmel. And I'm not sure if Mike took tires or what. It's showing, actually he's been out. Yeah, he stayed out during that cycle and has lost quite a bit of ground since the restart. Ryan is on 4 tires. We'll see what happens there. Meanwhile, McConnell has done a great job holding off Tyler Pluff. And we've got kind of a 6-car or 6-truck pack right here as Jay Felton is escaping from them. I think if anything, the tires have pretty much equalized at this point. The drivers who stayed out only had 2 laps on the tires, and it may come to bite them a little bit later in the run here, but we've only got 24 to go, and it looks like everybody's pretty much single file. Let's take a look back and see. Gemmel was not able to make the pass work. Here comes Timothy Lewis on the inside of Timothy Zayas, so the 2 Timothys battling it out. 10 going to get a big run here coming out of turn 4 and able to clear the 4 truck on the front straightaway. Back a little bit farther, Adam Jones battling with Ron Hollifield, who was up in the top 10 at the end of that stage, but has lost some ground. Adam Jones able to clear him, but here comes Ron back on the inside. Ron dives it down into turn 3. I think he's going to have a hard time getting by the 46 unless Adam makes a mistake up there. Looks like the 46 gets a big run. That might be able to clear him going down into the turn here. Let's take a look a little farther up. Tyler Pluff all over the back bumper of the 54 once again. Brandon Stokes peeking to the outside. Kind of getting an accordion effect here because of the 54 holding these guys up. We've got 3 drivers on fresher tires all in a row, and then Andrew Melvin right behind him. And Tyler trying to defend his line up high. The 21 able to get there, but not quite. Pluff shuts the door. Trying to hold off Brandon Stokes, who is on 4 tires. Larry Holloway down low back here. Trying to make a move on Timothy Lewis. So not sure what happened to Timothy Lewis. He was up there battling with Timothy Zayas and wasn't able to make it work, obviously. And all the way back now next to Larry Holloway. Rick Christensen wants in on this battle as well. I think Timothy's going to be able to hold off Larry for the moment. He does clear him. Here comes Rick up on the outside, trying to get a spot back, and he's been out there for 19 laps on these tires. Tight battling back here. This is for 12th and 13th position. And I'm going to keep an eye on these guys up here. This is where it's going to be the most intense. So we've got 2 drivers who stayed out, still up in front, and Tyler Pluff on 2 tires. Stokes and Hatchell both on 4 tires, and then Andrew Melvin doing a good job after staying out as well. And Pluff really just looking for a way around. I don't think he's going to have an easy time here trying to get by the 54, who has been pretty fast tonight and is obviously doing a good job on those old tires. It just doesn't seem like there's anywhere to go. If you get a run, you can't go to the bottom because it's too tight. Meanwhile, Felton is not really getting away anymore. He pulled out a ways, and I think he's kind of burned up his stuff just a little bit. 18 laps led at the moment, and half a second up the road. But McConnell is actually catching him He ran about a half-tenth faster that lap, and he's got some help from the trucks behind him who are pushing him. I think he's back in the draft of the 9 truck. Here looking at Rick Christensen and Larry Holloway still battling it out. Larry able to clear Rick. Here comes Ron Hollifield on the inside. Not able to get the momentum down into turn 3 and 4, so he'll settle back in line. And here comes Tyler Bluff to the outside of Jason McConnell. The first time we've really seen him make an attempt to pass. And I think he's going to be able to just drive on by. He's got a push from the 21 who's right behind him. And Bluff goes up into second. Let's see if he can chase down Jay Felton, who's got 16 more laps to go before the end of this stage. Jason McConnell getting shuffled back quickly on that inside line. Here comes Andrew Melvin now to pass him to get up into the top 5. See if Andrew's able to get the run here coming out of the turn. He does. Very close to the wall, but able to clear the 54. McConnell goes from 2nd to 6th in the matter of about a lap. And he's under pressure from Shane Capalla, who's got fresh tires as well, 2 tires on that truck. Let's see if the gap starts to close here. Pluff ran just a little bit faster than Jay Felton that time by, but not enough to catch him, although it looks like he's getting a pretty good run here in 1 and 2. The gap is closing, although going back up at the moment, so I think the line that Jay's running really keeps the momentum in the truck. And what Tyler is doing, you know, helps him gain some time on turn entry, but it's really hurting his exit. And I think he's actually going to lose time this lap. Let's take a look here. Yep, just a little bit slower than Jay's lap. And fastest driver on the track that time by was Seth Hatchell, basically running the same time as Brandon Stokes. So those two are going to be looking for a way around Tyler Pluff, and I think they're going to have an even harder time than Tyler had trying to get around Jason McConnell, because Tyler at least has some tires, some newer tires on his truck. And Felton is actually stretching the lead back out, so doing a good job. And we're back under caution. Let's see what happens. I think Timothy Zayas was involved. I'm not sure. Zayas parking it on pit road and towing. Let's go take a look. I see what happened. Going down into turns 3 and 4 here, Timothy Zayas and Larry Holloway were side by side. Larry just drifts up the track just a little bit, gets into the 10. Timothy does a good job saving it. Drifts down to the inside there and couldn't quite hold on to it, and gets up into that first groove, spins it back around, and I think just the frustration of that happening, he decided to park it, and he's taking it behind the wall. So Timothy Zayas will be out of this one. Let's take a look and see who's going to come down pit road. Felton still in the lead, and this actually worked out pretty well for him. And he'll lead him down pit road here. We're coming to 10 to go in this stage. We'll see if anybody tries any two-tire strategy to maybe gain some track position here late in the stage and try and hold on for those handful of laps that are going to be left. So we're taking a look at the timers here. And for some reason my pit timer doesn't work quite correctly, but it looks like the top, see how this cycles out. Looks like the only one to take 2 tires was Ron Hollifield. And he is up into 4th place. So interesting strategy there by Ron to gain a couple spots here, or quite a few spots. I think he came in, I'm not totally sure. I think he was a ways back. But he comes in, he's going to come out 4th. And he had 22 laps on those left sides, so we'll see how it works for him. He may struggle with some looseness here as we get going. Lights are off on the pace car, and we're going to be going double file here in just a second. Can Jay Felton hold on for the next few laps here and hold back Brandon Stokes? How can Ron Holyfield hold on here? We'll have to find out. So we're going to be coming to green here this lap. And Holyfield still looking for a way into the chase in this series as well. So he's currently outside the top 10 in points, I believe. Really coming down to it here in the regular season. A handful of races left before we get to the chase. Jay Felton working his way through turn 4 now, waiting on the pace car to dive down. We'll see what kind of a restart he can get from the lead here. Brandon Stokes down on his inside. And I'm not sure. They must have changed the rule to go on green, and Stokes gets a great start on the inside. Felton was not ready. Here comes Jason McConnell making a move to the outside. We're 3 wide here. And Felton's going to lose quite a few spots. Seth Hatchell working to the inside now. So we'll see if Seth is able to make any kind of move and get by Jay. Those two have been the class of the field all night. Seth has to settle 4th place at the moment. Shane Papala still battling with Jason McConnell right behind them. And we've got almost 3 wide as Ryan Gemmel was peeking to the inside of Mike Eames. And he is inside of Mike Eames now. So Gemmel trying to get some stage points here. He's currently in 10th, but trying to get another point off of Mike Eames. Ron Holyfield really dropping, though, on those 2 tires. Getting passed on the outside now by Andrew Melvin. We'll see if Ron can hold on to a top 10 position as we're only 7 to go in this stage. Brandon Stokes is your leader. Tyler Pluff all over him. And here goes Jay to the inside, but didn't make it work, and now Seth making a move to the outside. Jay's going to try and force that hole closed, and I think he might have been able to do it. Seth backed out of it. Going to try and pull a crossover here going down into turn 1, but backs out of it again. So some mind games being played on the front straightaway to try and get track position and hold on to it. And I want to keep an eye on Ron Holyfield and see how he's doing. He was able to clear Andrew Melvin. Looks like he's doing a pretty good job at the moment. Meanwhile, Ryan Gemmel and Mike Eames still side by side, and Larry Holloway and Timothy Lewis side by side behind them. This is for just outside the top 10, but the 6 and 3 in front of them. That is 4 spots inside the top 10. Here comes Andrew Melvin trying to make a move on Larry Holloway again. See if he's able to do it. Not able to complete the pass there in 1 and 2. We'll see what he can do in this end of the track. Looks like the trucks are even tighter over here, though. Ron getting a good run coming out of turn 4. I think he's going to be able to clear Andrew. And he does, going down into turn 1. So Ron is doing an excellent job holding on to his track position on those old left side tires. Ryan Gemmel trying to force that hole closed in front of Mike Eames, but not able to do it. Here comes Mike back on the outside. Andrew Melvin still working the back bumper of the number 11. Ron Holyfield just in front of these guys. Larry Holloway was able to clear Timothy Lewis, and Adam Jones with a push from Rick Christensen trying to make a move on the outside. Really bombs it down in to turns 1 and 2. Not able to keep it up to speed. Timothy Lewis going to be able to clear him coming out of the turn, but gives him tons of room, and I think the 46 has the momentum. Meanwhile, back at the front, Brandon Stokes has stepped out to a 3/10 lead over Tyler Pluff and Jay Felton. And Hatchell has not been able to keep up with the number 9. Maybe just trying to save some tires, pull some strategy here for this final stage. These guys are all in pretty good position to make it work later on. It looks like Andrew Melvin was able to clear Ron Hollifield, and Ryan Gemmel was able to clear Mike Eames. Now Eames under pressure from Larry Holloway. We're coming to 1 to go here. Can Holloway make the move to get by Mike Eames? He's caught him and trying to get a stage point here. See if Gemmel can make a move on Ron Hollifield. He's got momentum. He's right on the back bumper. Really going to have to make a bold move as he does, going down into turn 3. Back end starting to step out on that truck. I don't think he's going to be able to do it here. But trying to get back in the throttle. Gets a good run coming out of turn 4. I think caution's going to come out here in just a second, and it does, and Hollifield's going to hold on to the spot. But it was pretty close there at the line. So Brandon Stokes is going to be your stage winner here, for stage number 2. Jay Felton's going to finish second in the stage. Tyler Pluff fell back to 3rd there, it looks like, at the end of that stage. Seth Hatchell going to be 4th, Jason McConnell 5th, Shane Papala 6th, Andrew Melvin 7th. Ron Hollifield holds on and earns some stage points there in 8th. Ryan Gemmel in 9th, and Mike Eames also holds on and finishes 10th in the stage there. All those guys earning very valuable stage points. And if we look at the standings here, it was pretty close between Hollifield, Eames, and Gemmel. Those guys all fairly close. But Gemmel is locked in with the win, so he doesn't have to worry about the points quite as much. He will have to worry if there's going to be a few other winners here before we get to the chase, because he could be knocked out, being pretty much, I think, 2nd lowest in the standings with a win. So he is still in jeopardy. He's got to run as well as he can and get as many points as he can to try and guarantee his spot. So Brandon Stokes leading them down pit road. And Jay Felton right behind him. We'll see if anybody pulls any 2-tire strategy. I think we only had about 7 laps on the tires. Let's take a look at the end of pit road here. That's the wrong end. This is the right end. And it looks like Stokes going to win the race off. Pluff 2nd, McConnell 3rd. Wow, Felton still sitting on pit road. Not sure what happened to Jay, but he is just leaving. He might have stalled the truck. 27-second stop. He's going to drop clear to 14th position. And I believe Adam Jones has called it a night as well. So a couple drivers out of this race, and Felton not going to be happy with how that went. Came in 2nd, comes out 14th, and we've got 63 to go when they get to the line here. And this is not the position he wants to be in, seeing as how hard it is to pass. Pace car lights are off. Brandon Stokes going to be the one to get him going here. He's going to pick the outside line. Tyler Pluff's going to have a shot on the inside line. But McConnell, Papala behind them, and then Seth Hatchell. So Seth lost a spot through that pit cycle. He's going to be stuck down on the inside line. We'll see what he's able to do to make up some ground. We'll have to keep an eye on Jay Felton. See what he has for these guys. Maybe trying to make it on fuel from here. Not sure if they can or not, but see what he is able to do. Pace car is about to take it down pit road, and there he goes. See what Stokes can do on this restart if Tyler Pluff can get a good jump as well. Green flag is out. Pluff does get a good start. Gets the nose out in front, able to lead that lap. Get his first lap lead of the night. See if he's able to do anything down here in turns 1 and 2 to be able to pass the number 21. I don't think he's going to have the run to do it. Stokes charging hard back on the outside, and Papala just behind them trying to get the clear on the 54, and he's going down into turn 3, but McConnell charging back hard on the inside. And Hatchell kind of just pinned behind him right now. Andrew Melvin not able to get the run on the outside to stay right next to Seth Hatchell, but he is there, and he's got a push from Ryan Gemmel. Going down into turn 1. Here goes Tyler Pluff, still on the inside of Brandon Stokes. Not able to get the run coming out of turn 2, trying to close the door, and they're going to be over. I heard an engine blow. And heavy damage to the front end of the 89. Pluff still going, so neither of their engines actually blew, but a messy situation there on the backstretch. Let's go take a look. Coming out of turn 2, Papala got a big run on the outside, and Pluff was trying to clear him. I think he was clear for a second, but hesitated and tried to pull up, and then a great move by Hatchell, as well as, I think that was Jason McConnell with the evasive maneuver. I'm gonna go back and take a look from their perspective and see how that looked to them. It's probably pretty scary. Wow, McConnell just able to clear, and Hatchell, take a look. He was probably almost blind to this. Oh no, he saw it coming. Trying to back off of the 54, does a great job holding on to it, and luckily nobody else got into him. Take a look at the chopper cam. That was probably pretty cool looking. Everybody doing an incredible job to get around that incident. Good job by all the drivers there. And let's see if anybody came down pit road. It looks like everybody did. And Stokes stayed out. And Felton, we'll see what he does here to try and gain that track position back. Not going to do any strategy. And nobody taking 2 tires. Everybody's taking 4. Hatchell is going to win the race off pit road. So that is not the person that Brandon wanted to see, and here's his mirror. Andrew Melvin comes out 3rd. Looks like Ryan Gemmel's going to come out 4th. McConnell maybe getting a speeding penalty. He is dropping back. I think he did. Timothy Lewis going by. Mike Eames going by. So McConnell, after narrowly avoiding that wreck, is going to be dropping to the tail end of the field here. Jay Felton actually made up some ground. He went from 14th to 10th after that whole incident. And Papala is back out on track, so is Tyler Pluff, just making his way back out, trying to get his damage fixed. They both have pretty heavy front end damage, which is going to affect them significantly for the remainder of the race. Felton's going to be back up in 9th place. We'll see what he's able to do on this upcoming restart to try and make up some ground. And if you're just tuning in, this is the SOMO Capital Auto Repair and Service Truck Series, sponsored by Capital Auto Repair and Service, located in Raleigh, North Carolina. They're your full-service auto repair center. Some of the best mechanics in the area, honest, skilled, and reasonable pricing. If you're in the area and you need any kind of auto work, give those guys a call. I think at the end of this race, that's where Tyler Pluff and Shane Papala are going to go, or maybe they're going to go right now. Probably not too happy about that scenario. But both these guys do have wins. And so they will be in good shape for the chase. They're trying to get the last bit of damage fixed before we go green here, but the pace car lights are off. So they'll have to get going pretty soon to be able to catch back up to the field. Stokes is going to be your leader here. He's got slightly older tires than everybody else on track. And a couple contenders we haven't seen close to the front, like Ryan Gemmel, who's worked his way up into 4th place after everything went down the way it did there for that caution. We'll see if he's able to do anything. Timothy Lewis up into the top 5 as well. So Timothy was struggling early, but has found his way up into contention to potentially take a win here. Mike Eames and Ron Hollifield also right behind them in 6th and 7th. So those guys making up ground as well. Stokes going to be your leader. Hatchell waiting to time the restart. And it's not out yet. Green is out now. Hatchell didn't get going as well as he probably would have liked. And Stokes gets a good restart. Andrew Melvin was all over the back bumper of the 8 truck there. And Seth gets a pretty good run down in 1 and 2. And 21 trying to hold tight to him. He is able to hold on to the spot. But for how long? Because Stokes does have older tires. If only a few laps, it's still enough to make a difference, I think. Especially racing against Hatchell, who's been one of the fastest trucks all night. But here comes Gemmel to the outside. And Ryan was pretty fast in practice, but hasn't had the track position all night. And now that he's up here, he's really making a charge. Trying to get by our Stage 1 winner, Seth Hatchell. And I think Seth is going to have to settle into 3rd place under pressure from Andrew Melvin. 2-time winner here this year. And Jay Felton making moves already, trying to make up ground. Currently on the inside of Rick Christensen and looking to get to the inside of Ron Hollifield. Jay restarted 9th. He's trying to get up into 7th place with this pass. But he's going to have a hard time down on that bottom line. He's able to slide up behind Ron and now makes another attack down here in 3 and 4. Seems like he's able to get quite a good run down on this side of the track. Able to get a really good run, almost able to clear the 11, but not quite. And Timothy Lewis has lost a spot here, I believe. 5th, he's in 6th now and under attack from Jay Felton. So Jay really making his way up through this pack of trucks. But it's going to get harder and harder to pass as the run goes on. So Jay's going to have to make his moves right now, and I think he may be running out of tire already to be able to do that. Meanwhile, Brandon Stokes still holding on to the lead. Ryan Gemmel is now in 2nd. Seth Hatchell in 3rd with Andrew Melvin in 4th, and those trucks have kind of broken away from Mike Eames by a few truck lengths. every driver up here in this lead pack has won, and then Mike Eames has not gotten a win. Timothy Lewis also looking for a win. Jay Felton, yeah, basically everybody up to 11th has not gotten a win. And then Tyler Pluff and Shane Paula do have wins in 12th and 13th. Jeff Glockner still out here as well, currently running in 14th, last truck on the lead lap. Stokes is holding on pretty well right now. Just looking back at Ryan Gemmel, he's got a couple truck lengths over him, but he does have older tires, so when will those come into play? Track temp is down 4 degrees from earlier. Air temp is the same, but we are getting a little bit more shade. You can see the sun starting to set. The lights have not come on yet here. And hopefully we don't encounter a scenario like we did earlier this year at Las Vegas, where it got too dark for the drivers because the lights never turned on. Stokes starting to stretch the lead. Gemmel is starting to open up a gap over Hatchell just by a truck length or so. Hatchell trying to work that low line to make something happen down there. It's a good run coming out of turn 2, but not able to get inside of the number 6. Something happened to Jay Felton. He must have slammed the wall. He's got a blown engine. I didn't see it. Let's take a look. Racing with Timothy Lewis. A little bit of net code and contact, and they slam the wall. And no caution, surprisingly. Even though Jay came to a complete stop, all the drivers had passed them at that point. And then they both worked their way down into pit road, and they're going to be done for the night. So strong run for Jay Felton tonight. Once again, comes up a little bit short. Timothy Lewis had a strong run going later in this race, and it's going to be pretty much out of it as well. Both those guys sitting on pit road. We'll see if either of them try and return. But I'm thinking they're probably done for the night. Stokes now out to a 0.4 of a second lead over Ryan Gemmel. Gemmel is under fire from Seth Hatchell, who's also under pressure from Andrew Melvin. And let's take a little farther back. Though it's like Christensen was trying to make a move on Ron Hollifield. Ron is still running solidly up in 6th place. So that strategy that got him back up into the top 10 earlier has definitely helped out with keeping him here, and with the loss of a few drivers from those incidents. He's worked his way up inside near the top 5. It's like Gemmel rubbed the wall coming out of turn 2. Seth Hatchell is all over his bumper. Ryan maybe starting to struggle with the tight condition. It looks like he's moved his line up the track, trying to throw some blocks here on the number 8. Maybe they're trying to draft each other to get back up to the number 21. Brandon Stokes. Not really losing Brandon Stokes at the moment. With all this racing going on, they are starting to catch him now. They're working that higher line, and I think it's really paying off on the exit of the turn. Andrew Melvin still cutting down to the apron, and I think that starts to become a problem as the run goes on. These guys are on 16-lap-old tires. About 10 laps or so, we may start to see drivers struggling with getting loose. Right now, everybody's stable, everybody pretty much single file No battles going on that I can see. Tyler Pluff and Shane Papala still out there. Pluff currently riding in 10th, Papala 11th. Glockner is in 12th. Timothy Lewis took it behind the wall, and Jay Felton still sitting on pit road. Gonna try and recover something out of this race potentially, but he is not on track yet. Brandon Stokes continues to hold on to that 4/10 of a second lead, and the battle is really heated up here for second place as Gemmel has got a mirror full of the number 8 of Seth Hatchell, and Andrew Melvin just kind of waiting for something to happen between the two teammates up there. Ryan looking for another strong run, a strong finish here as he got the win a couple weeks ago. Seth looking for 2 in a row here in this series, and for 4 in a row here in SOMO. And the strategy has not quite worked out for him tonight. Those two are starting to stretch a gap over Andrew Melvin. And Mike Eames is starting to reel in Andrew. And then just a second back from them is Ron Hollifield kind of running all by himself. Rick Christensen and Larry Holloway are battling it out. Looks like Rick was able to clear the number 70 that last lap. So he's going to move up into 7th place. And Larry's going to drop back into 8th, but still solid runs for both of these drivers. The battle is really just for second place at the moment. I think if Hatchell can get by Ryan Gemmel, he might be able to start to reel in Brandon Stokes. But Ryan's doing a good job holding him off. Really nowhere for Seth to go. You can't make that inside line work like you just saw. So I think it's going to have to come down to maybe a pit cycle or potentially changing something up pretty drastically with your brake bias and trying to run completely different lines than everyone else. This track is pretty low banked in these turns, and it's not really a whole lot you can do. The inside 2 grooves seem to be the fastest usually. The outside line is not really a way around this place, at least in 1 and 2, maybe in 3 and 4. The wall really sneaks up on you coming out of turn 4 and can make running the outside line pretty difficult. But Gemmel has lost a couple tenths to Brandon Stokes, which is pretty incredible. Brandon doing an awesome job on those old tires. I think we're about at the point of the run though where people will start to lose the back end coming out of turns 2 and turn 4. We saw that happen earlier in the race just a few times. Seth really trying to put moves on the number 6, but not able to get the run out of the turn. And I'm going to try and get a better view of what's going on here. See if we've got lights coming on the track. Doesn't look like they're on yet. It's probably getting pretty dark out there for these drivers. I'm going to jump down in just a second and try and hear from a couple of the drivers and see what's going on. Just heard from a couple of the drivers it's getting a little dark, but they should be able to make it. Seth Hatchell taking it down pit road. The first one to take it down pit road, trying to get fresh tires here and win this pit cycle. And I think we'll see a few other drivers start to make their way down pit road as these drivers coming out of turn 4 right now. Stokes slowing down to get on pit road. Ryan Gemmel's going to stay out. And here comes Andrew Melvin still staying out. So Stokes comes in, see anybody else making their way onto pit road. So maybe some of these other drivers think they can make it all the way. Hatchell making his way out of pit road. He's going to be a lap down. Jeff Glockner also a lap down. I don't know if that's from the pit cycle. Yep, he pitted 6 laps ago. Stokes still on pit road. Seth Hatchell working his way out of turn 4. Here comes Ron Hollifield. Ryan Gemmel's also in. Ryan staying out to lead a lap. Stokes now making his way off pit road. We'll see where Hatchell cycles out. Hatchell's going to be your leader. So Stokes didn't have a good entry, or he must have had a very bad stop, but Hatchell actually taking 2 tires. That might be a winning move right there. Ron Hollifield still on pit road. Ryan Gemmel taking fuel only. Here comes Hatchell across the line. Gemmel making his way down into turns 1 and 2. Hatchell also making his way down there. We'll see if Gemmel's able to get up to speed and get out in front. I'm thinking he's going to have some trouble here as Hatchell really closing in fast, but Gemmel able to get up. He's out in front for the moment. Seth does have 2 fresher tires on that truck. We'll see if Ryan can hold on. I think he's going to be pretty tight here. Side-by-side battle. This is going to be for the win, I think. And so Ryan's going to have to really try to make it work here. But Hatchell has the tire advantage. See if any of these drivers try and make it. They still got 29 laps to go. When they get to the line this time. But Mike Eames has also been in pit road. We still got 6 drivers who have not pitted. Shane Papala being the last of the drivers out there. Tyler Pluff, Rick Christensen, Jason McConnell, Larry Holloway, and Andrew Melvin. The current leader. Seth Hatchell unlaps himself, and Ryan Gemmel not too far behind these guys. Brandon Stokes on 4 tires, quite a ways back. He's going to be 5.5 seconds back from Seth Hatchell. So Hatchell really pulling a wild card there with the 2 tires. We didn't expect that, but as tight as the truck has been, I think it might be a good move. Ryan Gemmel starting to lose him at a pretty quick pace here. He's half a second a lap slower than Hatchell, and running about the same times as Andrew Melvin. So it's almost like, I mean, Gemmel didn't take any tires, and it's like he's got no advantage at all, having pitted other than for fuel, just to make sure that he can make it. Andrew Melvin still staying out. Got 27 laps to go right now. 11 lead changes. At this point in the race, 5 cautions. Here comes Ryan Gemmel trying to unlap himself. Big run coming out of turn 2. And Hatchell still 0.6 of a second faster than Gemmel that last lap. Brandon Stokes passed his truck on the track with a 32.2. But quite a ways back, still about 5 seconds back from Hatchell. We'll see if he can do anything to get up there, but I think the fall off is too great and too rapid for him to be able to make it work. So Hatchell trying to win this one on strategy. A few other drivers have something else in mind, though. So we're going to be coming to 25 to go. Andrew Melvin looks like he's saving fuel. He ran a 34.9 on that last lap. Seth Hatchell running at 32.5, so 2.5 seconds faster for Hatchell. And we've got 25 laps to go. Hatchell is 27 seconds back. At that pace, he'll catch him in about 10 to 12 laps. So Seth is going to fall off a bit. Andrew Melvin is saving a lot. Larry Holloway goes to the lead. Larry's going to be able to lead some laps here. It's Andrew Melvin running a 34.5, really trying to save fuel as much as possible, I think, at this point. Also, Rick Christensen looked like he was maybe saving some fuel. Tyler Pluff and Shane Papala trying to save fuel as well. But they're not too far ahead of Seth Hatchell, so they're going to have to start going if they want to have any chance to win this race. Larry Holloway still staying out. And Ryan Gemmel back on pit road. Looks like he maybe made some heavy contact with the right side of the truck. And possibly calling it a night here. So a strong run in the end of this race is going to come up short for Ryan Gemmel. And that's Seth Hatchell's closest competitor on track. Brandon Stokes now gets the gap to Seth Hatchell under 4 seconds and still running a few tenths a lap faster. So he could be a pretty heavy contender here with only 23 laps to go. Holloway still running up to speed. Let's go inside with him actually and see what he's doing, trying to save fuel. He's pulled out a gap of over 2 seconds to Andrew Melvin. You can hear him clutching it. He's not shutting the truck off though. Sometimes these drivers don't have the ignition control mapped to their steering wheel, and usually it's on the keyboard or something, and it's a little bit of a hassle to shut the engine off, but you can save that little bit extra fuel. Now the difference in times is 1.5 seconds per lap between Hatchell and Holloway, and Andrew Melvin is running 4 tenths faster, or 4 tenths faster last lap than Holloway, but I think he's also saving. You can hear him just easing on that throttle right now. Probably not full throttle. He's not shutting the engine off either, just clutching. But you can see Larry Holloway up there running a higher line, which is going to cost him more time, potentially. Meanwhile, here comes Jason McConnell trying to make a move on Andrew Melvin. He's going to go to the outside. I think he should be able to just drive on by because I don't think Jason is actually saving. Let's take a listen inside his truck. He's clutching as well, but back in the throttle quite a bit earlier than we were hearing Andrew Melvin get back in the throttle. And that difference might be able to save the race for one of these guys. Seth Hatchell still 19 seconds back. And if any one of these guys can make it at the pace that they're running, it could be very close. Shane Papala currently scored in 6th. Tyler Pluff in 5th. And these guys actually pitted a few laps earlier or later than the rest of the drivers that are out on track, so they don't have to save quite as hard. Seth Hatchell is not far behind. There's Shane Papala and there's Seth Hatchell. .7 seconds back. You can see him up the road there going into turn 3. Seth is now going into turn 3. But Larry Holloway out front by 2 seconds over Jason McConnell, who stretched the gap to Andrew Melvin by 1 second. So Andrew maybe wasn't saving enough, early enough. He just had to save a little bit harder here. Let's not forget about Rick Christensen. Let's see what he's doing here. He's not saving. Or he's at least not clutching. He's just out of the throttle for quite a while. So, still going to be burning some fuel. But definitely not clutching it. Let's take a listen to Andrew Melvin. he is still clutching it. So these guys are losing time. Seth Hatchell's still 15.2 seconds back, and we're coming to 15 laps to go. Larry Holloway just taking that. And he's still clutching as well. So Hatchell running a 32.8 on that last lap. And he's going to have to work his way around a few trucks, so that could hold him up. Hatchell ran a 32.9 that last lap, and Holloway with a 33.7, so Larry's really got it dialed in, I think, as far as saving fuel and keeping the lap times up. Only 0.8 a lap slower, and that's going to be enough for him to win this race if he can make it. We've got just 14 laps to go. Hey Braden, if you're still watching, I just saw your message here on the video chat. So thanks for tuning in, and thanks to all the other viewers who are out here watching tonight. We appreciate your support, and give a like or subscribe to us if you haven't before. Got a lot of good racing on this broadcasting channel. We've got Paskey's Racing League, we've got the Die Hard Racing League on Sunday nights, and then we've got the SOMO Truck Series here on Wednesdays. And we may have a few other races here and there on occasion. Larry Holloway still holding this lead over Jason McConnell. It's now under 2 seconds though. And Andrew Melvin still trying to save quite a bit. Seth Hatchell down to 12-second gap behind Larry Holloway. And that pace difference has increased once again to a 1.3 second differential between Larry Holloway and Seth Hatchell. And Paula got passed up by Hatchell, and it's about to get passed up by Brandon Stokes. Stokes still running faster than Hatchell, but he's about 1.7 seconds back. It's going to take him about 8 laps, I think, to even get there, and then at that point, I don't know if he's going to be able to make the pass. But we're closing in on 10 to go, and Hatchell is just at about 11 seconds back from these guys. Jason McConnell is closing the gap. Andrew Melvin is closing the gap to Larry Holloway, so these guys are back up to speed and not saving quite as much. Let's take a listen. You can hear how much earlier Andrew Melvin just got back in the throttle. And you can see Holloway and McConnell just up there in front of him. It's getting pretty dark here tonight. 10 laps to go. Larry Holloway is your leader. The gap back to Jason McConnell, 1 second at this point. Gap back to Andrew Melvin, 2.5 seconds. And then 9 seconds back to Seth Hatchell, who started to drop into the 33-second range for his lap time. So he's only gaining a handful of tenths a lap, although Larry Holloway has dropped his pace once again to a 34.4 that time by McConnell, 4 tenths faster, and Andrew Melvin with a 33.6, 7 tenths of a second slower than Seth Hatchell. And at that rate, it would be very close between Andrew Melvin and Seth Hatchell. Seth really charging hard at this point, running a 32.99. Brandon Stokes 32.92, just 1.2 seconds back from Seth. Seth has to work around the lap truck of Jeff Glockner now, dives to the apron. We're at 8 laps to go. Larry Holloway still the leader, increases his lead back up to 1.7 seconds as McConnell starting to slow down again, ran a 34.6, and Andrew Melvin still keeping his pace up around a 33.7, and at that rate he should catch Larry Holloway if he can make it on fuel. And we don't know if any of these top 3 drivers can. Seth Hatchell has closed that gap down to 6 seconds behind Larry Holloway. We're at 7 laps to go. Remember, they just have to make it to the line. They don't even have to be running. But whoever gets there first He's going to win, and it's going to be close here at the very front. Holloway has backed off his pace. McConnell and Melvin are linked up together drafting, and that's going to help Melvin actually keep up some speed as well as save fuel. Ryan Gemmel is back on track right behind these guys. Could be a factor here. Andrew Melvin gets into the number 54 as they go down into turns 1 and 2. McConnell way up the track after that contact. And no caution, 6 laps to go. Hatchell 4.3 seconds back from the leaders. It's really heating up. You can see him up the straightaway there. Let's take a look from the inside of Hatchell's truck. Brandon Stokes only 0.6 back from Hatchell. It's going to be down to these two. Stokes has been driving his tail off trying to get up there. He was 5 seconds back at the end of that pit cycle. But he has the 4 tires. Hatchell has the 2 tires. And Stokes has started to close the gap even more. Another 1.5, 2/10 that lap. Andrew Melvin is now taking the lead. Larry Holloway dropped to 3rd. Jason McConnell in 2nd. And Andrew Melvin coming to take 4 to go here. Seth Hatchell 2.6 seconds back and under pressure from Brandon Stokes. These guys at the front are going to have to start to pick it up to be able to hold off Hatchell, who's looking for 4 in a row in SOMO and 2 in a row here in the Truck Series. He wants to add to his win total. Brandon Stokes not going to let him have it too easily. He's all over the back bumper. 0.2 seconds the gap, but he's going to be closing that. Hatchell started to fall off here. And once again, Stokes was 0.2 faster that last lap. Larry Holloway now slow in front of these guys. Going to be a factor here going into the turns. Might slow up Hatchell and Stokes just a bit, trying to work their way around him. You can see Jason McConnell and Andrew Melvin are going to be coming to 2 to go. These guys are really quite a bit slower, still 0.7 slower, and at that rate, Hatchell and Stokes will get there. And Stokes is still trying to make the pass on Hatchell. It's going to be hard to pass. 2 to go. 1 second the gap between Seth Hatchell and Andrew Melvin, and that gap is closing 0.7 now. So Andrew Melvin and Jason McConnell really gonna have to find something here on this last lap. I think Andrew Melvin might be out of gas. Trying to throw a block on McConnell. They're too wide. Stokes and Hatchell right behind them. Too wide as well. Contact going into the turns. Andrew Melvin trying to get back by the 54. Here comes Seth Hatchell to the outside. They're too wide for the lead. 3 wide at the line, and Hatchell's going to take the lead. The 2 drivers saving fuel can't hold on to it, so the win's going to be between one of these 2 drivers. And can Brandon Stokes get there? He's got fresher tires on the left sides. He's making a move down here in 1 and 2. Can't get it done. He's going to have to make a dive bomb here in 3 and 4. And he does. He's going to try and pull a slide job. Not going to be able to make it work. They make contact. Hatchell gets shoved up the track. And Brandon Stokes is going to take the win with the slide job. And door banging there in 3 and 4. Hatchell's not going to be happy about that. It comes up just a little bit short. Brandon Stokes is going to be your winner here. He's going to grab his 2nd win of the season here at Kentucky. Oh, you can tell these guys not happy with each other. Hatchell spinning down in the grass after the race. Ron Hollifield is going to come home 3rd after all that shakes out. Andrew Melvin and Jason McConnell still trying to make their way around the track. I don't even know if they made it or if they can make it. But Ron Hollifield's going to end up 3rd. Seth Hatchell's going to wind up 2nd. Frustratingly at the very end, losing the lead. And Brandon Stokes is going to be your winner here tonight as he's doing his burnout. So that's going to be your winner here. Brandon Stokes started 7th, led 41 laps tonight. We saw him charge through the field a couple times, and he found himself in a good position late in the race. charged from 5.5 seconds back from behind Seth Hatchell, who was on 2 tires, and Stokes was on 4 tires. And Brandon comes away with the win here. So a great run by Brandon. Aggressive move at the end to take it, and we'll be right back to interview him. But first, we're going to run a commercial. All right, and we are back. We're going to be bringing in our 3rd place finisher, Ron Hollifield. This is Adam in the SR booth. You got a copy?
What?
Well, this is, I think, the first time we've talked to you this season, but I talked with you last night, and you've been running so well over in the Die Hard Racing League, and haven't quite gotten the finishes over there. But tonight you steal one here and end up with a 3rd place finish. How are you feeling?
Man, it feels great, dude. That's a win right there.
Yeah, it's. I was surprised because I thought it was going to be one of the 2 drivers that stayed out on fuel, and I looked down at the scoring and I saw you there, and it must be a great feeling. You were kind of like, oh, go ahead.
I don't know how Brandon made it, dude. I mean, because he was on them old tires, and then he must have changed too on that pit stop. I don't know how he made it. I don't know how I didn't run him down, but I mean, a great win anyway, I guess. But yeah, dude. I mean, I didn't think I was gonna make it. I thought I was gonna run out of laps. It looked thin,
Yeah. Brandon took 4 tires on that last stop, and I think he pitted a lap before you. But Seth took 2 tires, and that's the reason Brandon was able to take him or chase him down. But we saw you kind of like all throughout the field tonight. I think you earned stage points in the first stage, but somehow got shuffled to the back. But you chose to take 2, I think, later in the second stage, and that got you a lot of track position back. What was kind of going through your mind at that point?
Yeah, well, yeah, on that first stop, I don't know, second, third stop, I don't know which one it was, but I took 4 and went all the way to the back. And that was a mistake. I don't know. I should have done something different. Anyway, the only way I could see to make up that ground was to take 2 on that next stop. And luckily, it worked out. Them guys was about to run over me. They jump in the start and running up on the outside of me on the start and just not really giving any respect at all. They took me 3 wide 2 or 3 times down in the turn. And, I mean, just driving, especially right at the beginning of the race, 3 wide, like second lap or whatever. It's just ridiculous. But anyway, I took those 2 tires and that got me back up there, thank goodness. And I almost took 2 on that last stop. I probably should have. Maybe I might have been a little closer to the front, and I had to not, because I mean, one last lap, one more lap. Where's it going to be? I mean, I just barely beat Shane at the line, and that was great, dude. I was I was doing all I could do, cuz.
Yeah, it looks like it was 30 thousandths the gap at the line there. So yeah, we didn't. I was looking at the battle at the front because it was pretty hot up there with the 2 drivers that had stayed out, and Brandon and Seth were were nose to nose basically, and it came down to a last turn pass for Brandon to take the win. But it's great. I mean, that you ended up taking away third there. It's a great run for you. And I'm going to take a look at the schedule here. I'm not exactly sure where we're going next week.
Yeah, I was thinking when with about 3 to go, I figured, I was going to end up about 7th or so, wasn't really thinking, that I even had a chance to get third. And then I come around and I saw all those cars. I guess they were running out of gas. Man, I mean, what a feeling, dude. I mean, just, I raced all this time, and I might have been on the podium one time in the whole year. And, to get a third tonight was great.
Yeah. We're going to Pocono next week. It's a completely different kind of track. What are your thoughts on going out there?
Yeah, I ain't too good at Pocono. I mean, I like the track, but it just seems like I always get caught up in something or over aggression. I mean, some of these guys, I don't know, man. If I see a dude get loose, I give him some room. But some of these guys, they don't. It's dog eat dog, man. They don't give you no. They don't give you no quarter, man. They just run you down, run you into the wall. Just I mean, it's crazy. I don't know why.
Yep.
I mean, I can see it. If it's 2 laps to go, that's one thing. But with 100 laps to go, and you're driving 3 wide, and you're doing all these kind of things, like I mean, Brandon all but wrecked me at the beginning of the race. I mean, it was so close. I don't even know how we made it through there, dude. I mean, it's just ridiculous to me. I don't understand it.
Yep. But you survive and take away a third place finish here, and you definitely been stepping up your game. I've seen you running a lot better all around. So whatever you're doing, whether you're practicing more or just trying some new things out, you're doing a good job, and keep it up. And we look forward to hopefully talking to you again here on the podium a few
Well,
more times.
Well, I kind of got to give all the credit to Jay Felton. I mean, he's helped me, and it's brought me up there. I mean, that's all I can say is just him giving me advice and helping me learn and being patient with me, being stupid at times too. So, but just having somebody to bounce ideas off of and keeping hard at it, trying to save tires, just doing it all.
Yep, and I think it's really paying off for you. So once again, congratulations on the third place finish. Before we let you get out of here to celebrate it, anybody want to give a shout out to?
I don't know. The sponsors, I guess. Can't even hard to think, but and you too, man, for putting on the races. It's always nice to be able to go back and see really, what happened. Y'all do a great job. I don't guess you and everybody yourself tonight, but thank the league and Paul and everybody, and everybody for racing. I mean, I wish we had more guys. Just it makes it all better. But anyway, I enjoy it. And what's the sponsor tonight?
Capital Auto Repair.
That's right. Capital Auto Repair, right here in Raleigh, North Carolina. Y'all come on down. You need some auto repair. They good folks.
Awesome, Ron. Well, once again, congrats on third place. Hopefully we'll catch up with you soon, and have a good night.
Yeah, man, I tell you, it's about took my breath away, cuz I appreciate it.
All right, so that was our third place finisher, Ron Hollifield. Obviously very happy with that run, and we're going to be bringing in our second place finisher now, Seth Hatchell. He had this one stolen away just in the last turn there. What were you thinking with the 2-tire stop, and did you think it was going to end up working out for you?
I'm not real sure. I was thinking he's going to catch me, and then I ended up holding him off and got by the guys. I guess they were starting to run out of fuel there with that last lap, and then what happened in turn 4 happened. So I probably shouldn't say much about it because I'll get in trouble. But it is what it is. We'll move on to wherever next week and beat them there.
Yeah, I know you were looking for 4 in a row in the league here and 2 in a row in this series, but I think, you definitely were the guy to beat. And did you expect Brandon to make a move like that? I kind of predicted that he would have to make anything work because he didn't have the run coming out of turn 2. But did you think he was gonna try and take it down that low, or was there anything you were gonna prepare yourself for?
Yeah, I knew he was going to make a move. I mean, anybody would make a move in that situation. I just wasn't really expecting him to use me as a wall there. It would have been something else if he went down there and made it stuck. But,
Yeah.
it happened. So we'll just move on to next week.
Yep. You come in with a big points lead. I think it was 45 points over Lupe Gonzalez, who wasn't here tonight. So you'll extend that points lead. You've got a bunch of stage wins and the 4 race wins, at this point in the season. So you're in really good position, I think, to take the regular season championship as well as, the top seed in the chase. Are you doing anything extra to kind of prepare yourself for that point in the season?
This is about the time of year I start to practice a little bit more and start to buckle down. Besides that, I guess I just got to start racing people a little bit harder. But besides that, we'll be tough to beat.
Yeah, you've been tough to beat so far this year, all across the board here in SOMO, and I know that firsthand. But another strong run here tonight. We're going to Pocono next week, which is completely different, and I know that's a good track for you. But what are your thoughts on going out there in these trucks?
It'll be really interesting, especially since we'll be running the repave. I wouldn't be too surprised if it got spread out, but that place is well known for fuel strategy, so have to get out the calculator and see what we can do there.
Yeah, I think it's a pretty short race. Only I'm taking a look at it here. Only 60 laps, so I don't know what the stages are going to be exactly. So it could be pretty interesting in that last bit, kind of like tonight was. You guys were all stacked up on each other there at the very end, which was very exciting. And I think you did a great job, charging your way back up to those guys. And Brandon charged; he was like 5 seconds back from you, I thought, at one point. So, he did a great job to get up to you and obviously made an aggressive move to take the win. But you were the guy to beat here, at least in the opening stages and coming down to the very end. So I can't feel too bad about that, even though it was kind of taken away. But you end up finishing second, which in the grand scheme of things is pretty good as well. So we'll let you kind of celebrate that. Anybody you want to give a shout out to before we get out of here?
Yeah, I got to thank you for doing such a good job with the broadcast. Got to thank Paul, all the admins, all the sponsors, especially Capital Auto for jumping on board for the truck series, and got to thank my team, MB Motorsports.
All right, man. Well, a little bit frustrating here at the end for you for sure, but second place is still a great run, and got to be happy with that. So we'll let you celebrate and catch up with you later.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
That was our second place finisher, Seth Hatchell. And we're bringing in our winner now, Brandon Stokes. This is Adam in the SR booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, bud, I got you.
Hey, Brandon. It took a pretty aggressive move down there in 3 and 4, but you come away with the win after chasing Seth down from quite a ways back. How are you feeling right now?
I'm feeling pretty good, man. I just hate to win it that way. I dove in there and I knew it could have happened, but I had too much rear brake in the truck. And as soon as I stabbed the brake to get off of him, it kind of snapped on me a little bit. So it just shot straight up. And I apologize to Seth, man. It's not how I wanted to win it at all. It's just that, it's racing, and I don't expect him to be too happy about it because I wasn't either. But it's racing. So.
Yeah. I don't know if anybody likes to have to make the move like that, but you had definitely had the speed on him, and I kind of predicted that you were going to have to make a move, and I didn't know if you were going to make contact or not, but you did, and you come away with the win. You were pretty much unstoppable there in that third stage. You stayed out on the first pit stop there in that final stage, and everybody else pitted, and took various amounts of tires, but you were able to gap everybody, and I think Seth pitted first on the last pit cycle, and then you pitted after him, and he came out the leader. But what were you doing differently that you were able to stay out there on those older tires and be able to run as fast as you were?
Well, I can't give you all my secrets. So, I was just playing a little game. When I'm the leader, I kind of like to save my stuff a little bit and just kind of like I'll pull away and then I'll drop back a little bit. Then I'll pull away and then I'll drop back a little bit and let them catch me. So, I know when I'm running second, third, or fourth, I'm driving my butt off trying to get up there at P1. So, It all just depends. I mean, the track tightened up, throughout as the sun set, and kind of helped my line out that I was running. So it all worked out pretty well. But I was planning on pitting at 105, and I was going to split that stage and put it. I think I was going to run 35 laps and then 30 to the end. And I saw where Seth got me. I mean, he got me, man. I mean, he played the right strategy, and I really didn't think I was going to catch him because I saw at one point I was like, I thought I was like 5.5 back from him, and I was just driving my butt off there at the end, and I mean, luckily I come away with the win, but like I said, it's not the way I wanted to.
Yeah, he had taken 2 tires, and the 1 lap advantage definitely helped him out, in gapping you just a little bit more. But the 2 tires didn't seem to work out for people all that well throughout the race. So I expected you to start to catch him. I didn't think you'd actually gain all 5.5 back. But you must have been driving like crazy because you got there and then you were still 0.2 a lap faster. And he was starting to struggle, and you guys caught up to those lap cart or the drivers that were saving fuel. Did you think you were going to be able to get up to those guys and even have a shot at the win?
Man, I really didn't know. I just knew that Seth was P2 before we all pitted, and I knew that I had to get in front of him if I wanted to win because I knew we were going to be running, I don't know what it is, probably a whole second faster than the guys that didn't pit at all. And like I said, he got me on strategy. But if he wouldn't have taken 2, we probably wouldn't be talking right now. Or we probably would be talking, but I probably would have been P1. But I don't know. I mean, that's, it is what it is on that deal. But I mean, overall, it was a good night.
Yeah, you started in 7th place, and I think we saw you a little ways back, even farther back than that at one point. But you come away with 41 laps led and the win tonight. And next week we're going to Pocono. It's a completely different kind of track. You got any thoughts on going out there?
It's probably top 2 on, well, probably top 3 on the tracks that I'm best at. So, I think me and Seth have a little rivalry brewing here. So, game on.
Yeah, I mean, you guys are always at the front. I think for the last 4 or 5 races that we've seen you 2 racing, you guys have been the guys to beat. So it tends to go that way. Your biggest competition is your biggest rival, and you end up running into people too. So sometimes how it goes. But this is your 2nd win of the year. It's going to move you up in the point standings just a little bit. And I'm not sure if you'll be in the chase or not. I think it all depends on the participation that they have set in the rules this year. But right now you're set to be 7th in the chase, and I think with the win you're actually going to move up to 3rd or 4th. So how are you feeling getting to that point in the season?
If I make the chase, I make the chase. I feel like I don't even know what race this is. I kind of fell in, and probably midway through the season it seemed like, and but I mean, I'm with my work schedule, I'm not able to be here every week, which I would like to be, but that's how things go. But I think it's pretty cool, man. 2 wins on the season, man. Kentucky, I'm just pretty freaking happy about it.
Cool. Well, before we let you celebrate this win, anybody you want to give a shout out to?
Yeah, man, I'd like to give a shout out to Carolina Simworks for coming on board this year. If y'all need anything, sim racing wise, or even a full sim setup, they can do everything and anything. Just give Casey a shout on Facebook. I'd like to thank my teammates at Overtake Motorsports, my girlfriend, my parents, and my brother and sister, and you for broadcasting on Truck Nights, and the league, and Paul and everybody. Hope we see Paul back soon here.
Yeah, we're hoping to see him back soon as well. But once again, congratulations on the win. Pretty dramatic way to win, and definitely exciting up here in the broadcast booth. So thanks for putting on a show, and we'll catch up with you next time.
Sounds good, bud. I hope everybody enjoyed the show, man.
I'm sure they did. It was very exciting. So Thank you.
All right, brother. Thank you.
All right, that was our winner here tonight. Brandon Stokes coming away with the last turn pass on Seth Hatchell with the dive bomb move down into turns 3 and 4. They made a little bit of contact. Seth got pushed up the track, and that was that. We're going to run through our standings here and thank our sponsors and get out of here. Brandon Stokes comes away with the win in that last turn pass. Like I mentioned, Seth Hatchell relegated to second after that whole sequence of events. Ron Hollifield steals third place away from Shane Papala at the line by 30 thousandths of a second. Shane ends up fourth. It's kind of a quiet night for Shane, and he got involved in an incident, but a very solid finish for him here. Mike Eames ends up fifth. Larry Holloway sixth, and last driver on the lead lap. Jason McConnell, after staying out and trying to make it on fuel, actually ran out of fuel, didn't make it back to the line, ends up seventh. Andrew Melvin, same deal, did not make it back to the line, ends up eighth. Tyler Pluff comes home ninth. Glockner 10th. Rick Christensen ends up 11th. Ryan Gemmel finishes 12th. Jay Felton, after running so strong early, gets caught up in an incident with Timothy Lewis, finishes 13th, and Timothy Lewis finishes 14th. Adam Jones ends up 15th, and Timothy Zayas ends up 16th here tonight, and that's going to round out our field. Once again, we want to thank our sponsor, Capital Auto Repair. They're your full-service auto repair center in Raleigh, North Carolina. So if you're ever in the area and you need any kind of work from them, give them a call, and they will be able to help you out. We want to thank all our other sponsors here for the league. All of you that tuned in to watch tonight here on SR Broadcasting. We will be back next week, like I said, at Pocono. So that should be a pretty exciting race. It's a completely different style track, but there are some experts at that you may not see running out front here on a lot of these 1.5 mile tracks. So it should be an exciting show. We've got a few other races coming up this week, including the Paskies series, a couple different series from them. We've got the Die Hard Racing League on Sunday night. So those are the races between now and the next Capital Auto Repair Series race next Wednesday. So keep an eye out for all of those. SOMO is also racing tomorrow night on the Esports Broadcasting Network in the Cup Cars. So keep an eye out for that broadcast as well. That should be a pretty exciting show over at Phoenix. But once again, thank you so much for tuning in. And until next time, have a good night.